Chalam, a staunch atheist and well-known writer of erotic novels, received an unexpected invitation from a close friend to visit the Ramana ashram, nestled on the sacred slopes of Arunachala. Despite his deep-seated skepticism towards anything spiritual, his friend, Mr. Chinta Dikithulu, deeply concerned about Chalam's constant agitation and cynicism, insisted on the visit. Chalam's public disdain for religious and social norms had not only isolated him, but also, his friend feared, had begun to skew the perspectives of his readers.
No, I have better things to do than spend days at an ashram.
Chalam, if you value our friendship, you will go with me. This trip will be good for you.
Reluctantly, Chalam agreed to go, but on his terms.
Okay, I will go, but will not bow to anyone or accept any spiritual authority. I shall remain true to my principles.
A week later, Chalam and Chinta arrived at the bustling Ramana ashram. The atmosphere was electric with devotion. Hundreds of followers filled the space, creating a tight mosaic of bodies around a narrow pathway reserved for the Maharishi. Children perched on their parents' shoulders. Some people stood on nearby rooftops, and others even climbed trees, all for a glimpse of the sage revered as an incarnation of the divine. Chalam's discomfort grew with each step through the crowd. The heat was stifling, the devotees overwhelming. He mocked the scene to his friend, declaring a provocative plan to confront the Maharishi with a lit cigarette and challenge his composure by blowing smoke in his face. Horrified, his friend realized the gravity of what might unfold. But before he could react, Chalam had already pushed his way to the front. As the Maharishi began his walk up the pathway, the anticipation in the air peaked. Chalam, with defiance in his eyes, positioned himself squarely in the sage path, hands on hips, an unyielding figure of rebellion. The crowd gasped as the sage approached, their murmurs turning into a tense silence. The friend, desperate to mitigate the disrespect, reached out and pulled Chalam aside, frantically apologizing to everyone. Yet the Maharishi remained serene, unaffected by the commotion, as walked past Chalam. Then something unexpected happened. The Maharishi stopped, turned around with a serene smile, and looked directly into Chalam's eyes. A look of infinite compassion and understanding that pierced through the veil of Chalam's defenses. The time seemed to stand still. The crowd watched in awe. This simple, silent exchange shook Chalam to his core. The Maharishi's smile, devoid of judgment or reprimand, reached deep into Chalam's soul. Suddenly, all his arguments, cynicism, and provocations felt trivial and misplaced. As they prepared to leave a few days later, Chinta to Chalam.
What a wonderful trip. I am sorry to see it come to an end. We should start packing soon. I have reserved 2 train tickets for us this evening.
Shinta, I think, I will stay here a bit longer. I need some space from everyone.
Chinta, surprised but happy to see this change, nods and smiles. Over the next 2 months, the ashram became his refuge. He remained reserved but observed all the activities at the ashram, and slowly his outward defiance softened into a genuine quest for understanding. When the time finally came to return home, Chalam felt a profound shift within himself. On his last day, he joined the line of devotees, waiting to receive a personal blessing from the Maharishi. As he approached, the sage set aside his papers and once again met Chalam's gaze. No words passed between them, yet everything was communicated. At that moment, Chalam felt an overwhelming sense of surrender to a greater truth. Chalam abandoned his previous life, his writings, and his former identity. He remained at the ashram for 29 years, dedicating his days to the spiritual path that had unexpectedly claimed him, living out his years in the peace that had first unsettled but ultimately transformed him.
Thank you so much for watching and supporting this video. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Stay blessed and namaste.